Fastest car I've ever ridden in.
Jerry's in town from Boston. He's the original owner of the Supra, or second owner of the Supra. And he found me on the internet due to our scene that you and I had, Forever Going Street Outlaws.
Yep.
And his first question was, hey, do you guys really hate each other?
Oh.
I was like, man, that's TV. We had some fun with it. And we made good TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was fun.
Yeah, it was it was one of those moments where I didn't know how Jared was gonna act.
Hopefully, maybe, you know, we've talked about it. Maybe that old orange truck over there, we can line up the old Supra beside it one day again, because the Supra's a little bit faster now. So obviously, you've had some history with the car. So when was the last time you driven the car?
September of 2002. So
almost-
that's about maybe October.
So like basically 19 years.
Yeah.
It's been 19 years since you've seen it, sat in it, smelt it, drove it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd get a chance to drive the car again?
No.
Yeah. So last time you opened this, it had stock twins on it.
Stock twins. Only thing it had was a strut tower brace and an aftermarket air filter. Yeah.
And had all the wiring and all the fuse boxes and air conditioning.
That's right.
It looks a little bit different now.
Yep. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Now you don't really post this online because I don't recall seeing the engine on any of your videos.
I don't ever really show that. I mean, I think it's a work of art.
It is.
Real Street did an amazing job with it. They had the engine bay painted. You know, it's got a Cody Phillips custom mil spec, you know, racecraft connector wiring harness in it. ID 2000s, it's got 12 of them. Actually, I think it's ID 2000s and then the ID 2600s, if I remember right. You know, custom intake. Like, so much engineering goes into an engine bay like this. Like, I can't even imagine the time that Real Street has making this happen.
You can tell that it's moving a lot of air based on the size of that intake manifold.
Yep.
And the turbo. I love the fact that you've got this huge single turbo, but when you close the hood, it still actually looks like it's a stock Supra.
Fastest car I've ever ridden in. So officially.
It's a little different from the last time you rode in it.
Oh yeah, fast.
That's lowest boost setting and literally maybe 60% throttle at most, because the road just won't hold it. Like, it would just go around in a circle and go in the ditch. So like, it's fast. I mean, I'm not saying it's not fast on the street, but it literally feels just dumb fast on the track because it puts all the power down. You know, it doesn't spin. I mean, that's when it does wheelies and shit. So like, yeah, it's street driving this car is pretty retarded. Like, it just spins. I mean, we were going, the shift light was coming on a high gear, which, you know, that's 200. We weren't going that fast. We were probably going 160, 180, and literally was painting stripes going down the road. Like this, and it goes straight for the most part. I mean, it was wiggling, but at least he trusted me. A lot, you know.
Yeah.
It takes some trust to climb in a car and go that fast and on the verge of out of control. Right. Well, let's go into shuffs, let her cool off a little bit. And only got to 210 after doing 2 back-to-back heats on 100-degree days, so it's not too bad. It's a testament of being a true street car. So let's go grab a bite to eat, let her cool off, and then we'll cruise into Oklahoma City. So we were in Jones now, a little local place called Shuffs. That's where we always come to eat. kind of a place where everybody knows your name. Super friendly people. You know, just old school kind of vibe. It's kind of packed today. As you can see, it's very small. The people here are great, and they treat us like family. So we're going to grab a bite to eat, and then we're actually going to meet up with Farm Truck and Asian. I'm not sure if Farm Truck's going to be there. I know Asian will be, so is Lou. We're going to chit-chat with them a little bit, and then we'll get Jerry dropped off at the airport. But we're going to let him drive the car when we leave here, and we'll see what his reaction is to driving the car. You know, living out in the country, car got dirty. I haven't driven it in a while. I had to wash it off. But if Jerry's up for it, you want to take it for a ride?
I am ready.
Drive it?
I'm ready.
For the first time in 19 years?
I'm excited. I couldn't be more excited right now.
Well, the keys are in it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
It's going to be weird sitting on this side of the car.
It's gonna be weird driving this car after that long.
So, push the coil. It'll fit in the van.
It should.
So obviously when we do these cross-country drives with the car, we take the hood off because when you're driving a big, you know, stalled auto, it builds a ton of heat. Obviously Jerry hadn't driven the car in a long time, so he, you know, nothing against him, he just was in second gear, maybe a little bit higher RPM, blah, blah, blah. It built up an absolute ton of heat. So you probably don't know or why the hell we're on this side of town, but inside that door is the reason you found me. This is Asian Farm Truck's place of business. That's where they keep all their cool stuff. He should be here. I think they're filming right now, but I just wanted you to meet him, and you know, that's the way that you found me was from that episode. So you know, it'd be kind of cool. There they are out there. Jerry's in town from Boston. He's the original owner of the Supra, or second owner of the Supra, and he found me on the internet due to our scene that you and I had, Forever Going Street Outlaws.
Yep.
And his first question was, "Hey, you guys really hate each other?"
Oh.
I was like, man, that's TV. We had some fun with it. You know, so I just wanted to stop by if you were available and introduce you and kind of explain how that happened. Like, obviously, they gave me an opportunity to be on the show, which I was grateful for, and we made good TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was fun.
Yeah, it was it was one of those moments where I didn't know how Jared was gonna act. I pretty much thought we didn't even know each other.
Not really,
right?
I mean, we knew each other online and form names, but we'd never like hung out or like.
So my personality just mirrors.
Yep.
I just mirror everybody,
Yep.
right? And so in the moment, we kind of just met, and then he brought this presence with him, you know, and he had decided before he got there that he was gonna do this.
Talk all
unbeknownst to me, right? So
WWF style, I guess.
yeah, he did, and then so I was like, okay, I guess we're in it, and we just kind of zeroed in. I really thought we were gonna end up fighting. I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna fight.
It's gonna go down.
I guess so. I was like, I guess we're fighting.
This balded, middle-aged, barefoot redneck.
we're
We're gonna
gonna
roll.
fight. It blew my mind for a second, but then I was like, okay, we're switched on. But then, you know, Farm kind of got, he helped us kind of identify where we were at, and we're like, hey, we're still making a television show. I'm hot mic'd, and we need to race. We need to get that. We don't need to fight and then not have an episode because it's not street fighting. You know, it's street outlaws. So we have to race, and so that kind of got watered down. And then I don't think your Supra was ready that night. Really,
No, it was lazy. We didn't have the nitrous on it. It made 700 wheel, but it was an opportunity you guys gave me, and I took advantage of it. Right?
Yep, that's right. That's right.
was awesome.
And who knew, right? Like who knew what that little segment, that 30, 45-second segment would maybe do for you?
Oh,
you know, I don't know.
It did. It opened so many doors, and forever thankful for that. And hopefully, maybe we've talked about it. Maybe that old orange truck over there, we can line up the old Supra beside it one day again because the Supra's a little bit faster now.
Yeah, and the truck hasn't changed. Lou, can you think of anything we've changed?
Not on the truck, man. Like it's we scraped some mud off of it and some rubber, but
It's still
pretty much the
big and
same.
a whole bunch of nitrous.
Yeah, it's still the 632. We've changed some valve train components. It doesn't make any more power than it has in the past 4 years, but it does work.
On any surface.
On any surface, we changed to the QA1 mod shocks. Those seem to help a little bit. We had bales help with the bottom end tune a little bit.
The chassis got updated a little bit. Hot rods to hell probably.
Hot rods to hell played a role in the front. Jeff Lutz helped to give us a little bit more travel in the front, but all that's kind of happened within the 4 year period. Again, did we knock off a tenth?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like that's it. So.
But that's cutting a light. I mean,
That's cutting a light. So, they made this thing kind of the gatekeeper in the very beginning because it worked every single time, no matter what, like clockwork. And that was, the predictability gave us an advantage.
Correct.
And it still does. It still does because we know what it's going to do. And if it doesn't do that, something's broke. So, yeah.
Still naturally aspirated. Right?
Yeah, still, yeah.
Yes.
This is just more oxygen. Right, like so.
all these regulators.
Yeah, she's a thirsty girl. Yeah, nitrous is the game. It's hard to go away from that. It's being carbureted and
It hits so damn hard.
yeah, it's just we're in a world now where it's like we should go EFI. We should go
Haltech or
Pro Charter 20, but we're so loyal.
Well, Farm Truck even wanted to. He's like, man, I want to move the engine back. I want to do all this like EFI stuff to it. And like Asian and I kind of fought him on it, and we were like, bro, like the truck is what it is. Like we would hate to kind of, if we're gonna do anything to it, let's just make another one, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be any faster.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
what it needs to do.
For what it is, it's the fastest it's gonna get. And if you do anything else, it's almost like disgracing the truck.
I agree with that. There's definitely diminishing returns with this. It's like, okay, can we pick up a second? Then who are we going to beat? We can call it Cot Kelly. Who are we going to call it Big Chief and Murder Nova? Like we're just not, right? Like, and if you're going to get in that game, you need to have some sort of goal line.
Correct.
If it's not just that number, and we're not reaching we don't even know what it runs. Straight up, we've never run it down the track and pulled the time slip ever.
There's no need.
There's no need. That's right, because it runs what it runs, and if we get beat, well, we got beat. Yeah. What are your thoughts on just kind of seeing all this develop?
Yes, it's awesome. I love the fact that you've kept this thing in the raw, right? It's just got its own personality, right? And it's just kind of a neat star of its own. And then, like you said, you add the personalities to it, and it just makes for a really good, entertaining scenario.
Sure.
I was quite the amateur, so I never got to this level.
Okay.
When I had the Supra, it was probably at about the 500 horsepower level.
Yep.
And everything was in it, right?
Well, that was fun.
That was in 2002.
2002.
Crazy. That was big. That was a big
500 in
deal.
2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like king of the road back
You were.
then.
Yeah.
But I drove it a lot. I drove it in 1 year. I drove it over 20,000 miles.
Wow.
So I mean, I took it to Florida. I took it up to New Jersey. Raced it there one time.
Okay.
Spun it
Oh,
halfway
you
up
did.
the track.
Okay. So you've raced it a little bit, right?
I have, yeah. So before the Supra, I was in a 92 300ZX.
Yep.
And I was telling Jared, that's my true love, the Z cars.
Okay.
Just growing up with the Z
Sure.
cars.
Was that a twin turbo one? Was it a?
The one that I had was naturally aspirated
Okay.
2+2.
Understood.
So it was quite an upgrade.
Cool. So pretty cool guys, right?
Yes.
Super down to earth. So it's almost 4. Your flight leaves at 6. So we're not too far from the airport. What do you say we head south and we'll get you to the airport, and then you can hop on a plane and head back to the Northeast?
Yeah, I'm kind of sad to go, actually.
It's fun, right?
I'd like to stay.
Oklahoma's a fun
longer.
place. So I don't know. I enjoy Oklahoma. It's not for everybody. It's hot. It's humid, but it's home to me. And I like to think we have some of the nicest people in the country. So
No doubt, no doubt. I really do appreciate it, man.
No problem,
Thank
man.
you for the invite, and
problem.
it was a great time, great
not a problem
experience.
at all. Hopefully, you know,
Priceless.
seeing the car again, getting to drive it, hanging out, and hopefully come back.
It was an emotional experience for me. It really was, and I just can't tell you how much I appreciate the invite.
Not a problem, man. I'm
having
glad we
come
connected, a couple years ago, and we were able to make this happen, and get to hang out with Farm Truck Nation for a little bit, and kind of see Oklahoma, and got to drive the car around. We got to go 160, 170 miles an hour spinning the tires, right?
Yeah, I don't even know how fast we were going.
Yeah.
but
Well, Shift Light came in high
warp
gear.
speed.
I'm sure Jay could pull the Motec log, and he'd be going like, "You're going too fast for the street." So yeah, we were cooking. But yeah, we'll it's hot, so we'll start heading that way, because obviously we had to take the hood off earlier because put it in drag week mode because it got a little warm. So
Yeah, sorry about that.
no, it's not your fault. It's just whenever you ride the converter, it's high RPM. Just get it in high gear as quickly as possible. But hey, you haven't driven the car in almost 20 years,
Right.
And it's a little bit modified since then.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Just a little.
You're gonna go get on an airplane, but you're getting out of an airplane.
That's right.
Okay,
Sir.
You got anything else?
No, that's it. I'm good. I travel light.
Well, hey, thank you. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Feel like you're part of the family now.
Definitely, I feel like part of the family. So I appreciate you kind of taking me into the fold. Take care of this thing.
Oh, I will.
I'll be watching you every step of the way, rooting for you.
Hopefully you
and,
can come out to World Cup Finals.
that would be cool.
A little bit different.
Just a little. Yeah, this is a race car. I mean, he calls it a street car, but it's a race car on the street.
As much as we want to tell ourselves it's street, it's a car that can drive on the street, but it's a race car.
It's a race car that you're allowed to drive on the street.
I'm excited to fly Jerry out here on a whim. Literally, a week ago we kind of started chatting about this. 2 weeks ago, did you ever think you'd be sitting in the shop in here behind the Supra?
Nope, I had no idea. It was quite a surprise.
Pretty cool deal. So obviously you've had some history with the car, so for the people behind the camera, they don't know. When did you acquire the car? What year?
Yeah, so towards the end of 2001, November 01, I bought the car. It had 38,000 miles on it.
And you were telling me earlier you bought it from a dentist.
Yes, so
Walk me through how you found the car and that story.
Sure, yeah. So I was actually in Denver, Colorado at the time, looking at the classifieds, and I found it online. I was looking for a Royal Sapphire, or was it the Royal Sapphire Blue?
Pearl. Yeah, RSP.
And a Quicksilver, but I just couldn't turn it down. For what it was what I was looking for, and I was pretty excited to find out that it was only like an hour away from where my parents lived. So.
And who owned it?
So I don't remember the name of the guy, but he was a dentist, and he was a little bit older than me, probably about 10 years older. And the license plate, he had a personalized license plate, and it said OPNWDE, which stood for open wide, obviously, because he was a dentist. So
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Were you into cars before you bought the Supra?
Yeah, absolutely. So my first love was the 300ZX. So I bought, on my 21st birthday, I bought a 92 Nissan 300ZX, and really just caught the bug from there. I joined a car club, the East Coast Z32 Association. From that point, it was like during the summertime, every other weekend, I was down in Englishtown, New Jersey, meeting with the guys. We were having fun. We were just running them down the track just to see what we could do, bolt-on mods.
Obviously, I'm an import guy. I have kind of ventured off into domestics recently, but what made you pick imports over American muscle?
Yeah, so it started when I was a kid. My mom had a Toyota Celica before the Supra was even, a thing. And we also had a 280ZX. So, starting from a young age, we owned imports, and I was always just impressed by the reliability and the performance, and I guess it just kind of planted the seeds, just kind of stuck with me. I knew that the Supra was special, and when Fast and Furious came out, it just exploded, right? And I had the car during that time.
Oh, okay.
And so, I was getting comments. I felt like
the car was starting to get to celebrity status. Even in 2002.
Right.
Just cruising around, I took it to Tampa, to Clearwater Beach, and I'd hear people, "Is that a Supra? It's a Supra," just
Before the meme of today, is that a Supra?
right, exactly. And then when you saw another guy with a Supra, you'd pull over and have a conversation.
Sure.
So it was definitely a car culture that really influenced a lot of what you're seeing today, and it was cool to be a part of that.
You got to live it. I was a little younger. I was in high school. I'd never seen a Supra. I don't even know the first time I honestly seen a Supra. I think it was at a Nopi event in Tulsa, probably like 2005 or 6-ish. It's probably 2004. That's the first time I've ever seen a Supra. It's pretty neat how cars can bring people together from all walks of life. I've met so many people from around the world that cars, literally, it's the common ground. They may be a different race, different religion, different ethnic background. Different everything. But the common ground is cars, right?
That's right.
That's how you and I met. So
yeah.
Cars bring people together, and I just think that's really cool. But so you said you ran down the track. How fast did you go down the track in the car?
In the Supra?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really get any clean runs. When the first time I ran the Supra down the track, I brake boosted, so I power braked, and then I just let it rip and literally just spun the tires. I had street tires at the time. Spun the tires halfway up the track, just got squirrely, and then I let off, and then I got back into it, and I ran like a 13.6 at 104 or something like that.
And what mods were done to the car at that point? Was it like a BPU car, or was it stock, or?
So the only thing that it didn't have to make it a BPU was the stock exhaust. It had a downpipe, it had an intake, it had the boost cut controller. So it was boosting at about 18 pounds of boost at the time.
How long did you own it, and then what made you end up selling it?
Sure. So I owned it so I'll tell you, it had 38,000 miles on it when I bought it. When I sold it, it had 60,000 miles.
So you drove it.
So I drove it, and I only owned it for a year.
Oh wow! So you made a lot of memories in a short time with that car.
Yes, I did. And at the time, I had a job where I was traveling a lot, so I would store it at my grandfather's barn and put a cover over it so nobody knew where it was. And I always looked forward to driving it when I got home. Every plane ride back from Denver, all I could think about was driving the Supra. That's awesome. Taking it out for a ride and really just having fun with it. In regards to any modifications beyond that, I did take it to Titan Racing in Orlando and put about $2,000 into it, which was the boost cut controller, the boost gauge that you saw,
right,
and some tuning work.
Which was still in the car when I acquired it from Abram Powelson, in 2013. The boost gauge was still in the car. And it's funny, you and I were talking over dinner last night. Mark Conte, one of the owners of Real Street, we're pretty sure was his sales rep at Titan when he brought the car in. I was showing him an old picture of Mark from when he worked at Titan. So it's kind of a small world, especially in the cars, where you took a car that you owned when Mark worked at Titan and he was your sales rep, and then future goes, Mark becomes an owner of Real Street, and now this car is known as the Real Street Supra. So it's just kind of came full circle.
That's right.
It's pretty cool stuff. So obviously, did you ever think that the car that you owned would ever become what it has today?
I had hoped that the future owners would take care of it, and but no, I had no idea that it would become the internet famous car that it is today. But on the other hand, it brought back the passion. When I found the car on the internet, I just got really excited that somebody was really doing something with it. Yeah.
So obviously, it's drastically modified. You haven't even seen under the hood yet. Haven't really got much around the car, but do you think I've ruined it? Do you think what's your opinions on the cage work and all that stuff?
Yeah. So it's pretty hardcore right now. I think it's more hardcore than I would have ever gotten with it.
Right.
I would have been happy with a 500-600 horsepower street car, keeping the air conditioning and all that stuff.
Hey, it's got air conditioning. It's off the top.
Yeah. But no, I don't think I would have gone this far with it. So I really appreciate your passion for it, and I can kind of live vicariously through you, which is awesome.